All right. Well, I figured I should probably make some sort of tutorial or just showcase of my new basic character setup. Uh, I set this up the other day and today, found some stuff, and I'm just gonna go ahead and show it. So just make a new folder, and I have the kubold pistol and set prone here, but that's not necessary. I just put it in here just to get the mannequin in. I'm not going to be showing how to set up animations and stuff right now. This is just for my new basic of the basic stuff, basically. So just like a quick setup tutorial folder. And we will make a quick character first. And this will just be blueprint tutorial character, like so. And so your first things first, obviously you need your like inputs and project settings, but I assume everyone here knows how to do that. So next up will be then making just another graph like so. Call it inputs, call it whatever you want, just keeping them separate. And we will have event, move forward, event, move right, look up, and turn. So these are our basic events. So for your turn and look up, these are going to be your normal, standard, usual stuff. So for look up, that will be add controller pitch input, and for your turn, it will be add controller yaw input, like so. Nothing more to it. However, for our move forward and move right, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do get control rotation. Then I'm going to do axes, like so. And from the Y, I am going to then rotate vector around a default value, which is, if I remember correctly, -90. It might be 90 as well. We'll see like when it goes in, if it's working or not. And then you'll have your usual add movement inputs like so. And this is probably slightly cheaper than the standard method of doing it, because this function, from what I can tell anyways, is about as expensive as get forward vector or get right vector from my rudimentary understanding of C++ anyways. And in turn, that means only doing one of these once instead of twice and all the things before. This will probably end up just slightly cheaper, maybe. Yeah. Then obviously add a spring arm and a camera and set the spring arm to the head, just because that's easiest for the showcase. Right. Also add a mesh to -90, -90. This should probably actually be -88 if we want to be exact. That number is the number here. And yeah, now we can attach this to the head like so. So that's basic setup done. And if we it's just an empty test level. If I overwrite and just do tutorial character, I should probably also something here isn't set correctly. Right. I should go use pawn control rotation like so. Now we can move around. Now for the animation blueprint, which is where I'm gonna do things also slightly differently, is first we need an animation blueprint. I use AGR quite often for everything, but it's not necessary for this specific function, although I highly recommend using AGR, but I'll just make one for now. So this will just be animation blueprint tutorial character, because that's what's named and that's my naming convention. And we need one more setup as well, and that is, if I can find where his mesh is, here. We need a control rig, and that's just what it's going to be named as default. So now if we go into our tutorial setup here, we'll do our spine rotation, which is procedural. So you do get pawn owner, and you do get control rotation. You do get actor rotation. I'm pretty sure these are the proper ones. It might be another set of ones, but these work for me. You do delta rotator, like so. We want to promote this to a variable because we're going to send it into our control rig. And this is going to be our spine rotation, like so. And we'll just set this on tick. But not in that way. We need to split these and put the yaw, or the pitch, I mean, into the yaw, like so. And if you don't do it, it breaks. Not entirely sure why, but it has to do with which rotations you get out from this and which rotations your control rig is going to use to rotate your spine. So if we go back to where our mesh is, our control rig, and you'd probably put this in a better folder than this, you can distribute rotations, which is really handy because then you can just make this an item chain and pick from what bone to what bone you want to distribute it and at what ratio. So I'm going to do it over 5 bones. I'm going to do it from my spine to my head, and I'm going to do it on each, so the weight is going to be 0.2. And then you can just collapse these, which makes it really nice and handy, because it doesn't get in the way. And as for the rotations, well, we're just going to have one, and it's this one. And this is going to be a variable, so my blueprint, add new, variable, spine rotation. And this will be if type rotator. And instance editable, expose on spawn, so that we can access it. Get. This, however, doesn't use a rotator. This uses quaternion, because quaternions are just better. That's facts. And then we'll just do from rotator to quaternion and plop that right in. And that should be it. And we can test that out. Here, we'll just do control rig. Select it, you go class, you select your control rig, and you want to expose that pin, but you could use a curve or something else, but we just have this pin. I'm not going to put in a source pose, although I could. And compile, save, and we can test it out. So test map, and I plugged something in wrong. Let's see. So there. Tutorial character. Right. That's what I did wrong. Didn't even plug in the animation blueprint. It's the mistake I do the most often. And now you can see the spine rotates. So you don't need a bunch of transform modify bones. You can just have a single node that handles all of it now. And it cleans up your graph really nicely. And if you want to use the control rig for other things as well, now it's there. So yeah, that's my basics of the basics new setup. And later on, I'll be going into how I'm doing my new transitions between different states for the animation blueprint. Once I have that figured out properly, which isn't right now, I'm going to be sitting with it for a few days or so now. But yeah, I hope at least it's useful to some of you.